Now, upon learning of the incident, we immediately reached out to the customer to address their concerns and seek to fulfill their order to their satisfaction. Too late for that! FedEx already did it, punks!
I don't feel one bit, as Malcolm said, the rooster came home to crow. We have
no. We're going to go on to Randy in Kentucky, Republican.
How can you be a teacher at a university and endorse assassinations at universities and still expect a job and call yourself probably like a public servant? OfficeMax, Office Depot, not having a good time. You can see this post came out from an attorney called Matthew S. DePerno Esquire, and he's referencing a very troubling incident in which individuals who were about to attend a Charlie Kirk vigil to honor his memory and pray for him and his family and everybody impacted were asking that a poster be printed that they could pass out. And what happened is OfficeMax and Office Depot, and these two individuals who we're going to watch act like monsters in a minute, refused to print the job. And you might be saying, what kind of poster was it? Was it something offensive, Rob? No, of course not. We're not the left. This was the poster. Office Depot has now turned off their comments on all this. They refused to print this poster. That's it. The legendary Charlie Kirk. That's the poster, okay? And they're going to call that political propaganda because they're whack out individuals. But here is the exchange. The post came, he said, from an attorney who says, all right, we're just flagging this for everybody. Today at 2:24 p.m., the Kalamazoo County Republican Party placed an order for a poster of a Charlie Kirk for a vigil tonight. At 5:30 over there at Office Depot, Beryl, the print supervisor, the guy on the left, called and said that they are refusing to print the poster because it is propaganda. Hey, Office Depot, OfficeMax, do you think this is acceptable? So it's hilarious. So he called him the guy on the left. The guy probably thinks he's a woman. He probably thinks he's Beryl. You might think Beryl is this woman over here. It's not. It's the guy on the left who calls himself Beryl, which I'm pretty sure is a female name. But we went to FedEx instead. Okay, shout out to FedEx. They apologized this happened to us from these maniacs, and they printed the poster for free. So shout out to FedEx for doing that. And they even paid for it, it looks like. Here, they spent $56. They just wanted a bunch of these posters printed out. And when they went in there, this is what happened.
Thank you. So we came in for an order earlier to print a poster for a vigil tonight.
Yeah, so
for somebody that passed.
Propaganda.
It's not
it's propaganda. I'm sorry. We don't put that here.
Alrighty. So what's your name?
Beryl. I'm print supervisor.
I'm one of the managers.
Yes.
So unfortunately,
so they say they don't print political
print
propaganda.
No.
So this is somebody that passed away a couple years ago.
That's political propaganda, unfortunately. I'm
so
sorry.
this is for a prayer tonight, for a prayer vigil?
Mm-hmm. It's still propaganda, unfortunately.
What makes it propaganda?
Because he's a political figure, and I don't have to.
Our general manager is going to be in on Monday. If you
No,
want to
it's
speak
totally
further on
no,
the
we
subject,
have
you would like to,
you're welcome to return.
All right, so they just sat there and said, it's propaganda and we're not going to print anything for you people, so get out of my store. Okay, well, that's OfficeMax. And now it's being called out on the interwebs by an attorney. And what has happened in response to that little video is OfficeMax came out and posted this. They said, we are deeply concerned by the incident that occurred in Michigan. The behavior displayed by our associate is completely unacceptable and insensitive, violates our company policies, and does not reflect the values that we uphold at Office Depot. We sincerely apologize to the customer affected and to our community for this regrettable situation and what has happened. Now, upon learning of the incident, we immediately reached out to the customer to address their concerns and seek to fulfill their order to their satisfaction. Too late for that! FedEx already did it, punks! We also launched an immediate internal review, and as a result, the associate involved is no longer with the organization. Which associate? Because it should be all three of them who were there in that video. The associate is no longer involved. Not good enough. We are committed to reinforcing training with all team members to ensure our standards of respect, integrity, and customer service are upheld at every location. Our customers and communities deserve nothing less. All right, we'll see if anybody goes over there to that crap store because FedEx is getting all of our business now. So we also had that. Now we had some more reaction to a lot of this, and Nancy Mace is posting about these maniacs. These maniacs are not just filled in Office Depot or anywhere. You see them everywhere. They're in fire departments, they're in universities, they're in elementary schools, they're in the Secret Service saying that people should be shot and politically assassinated. They're nuts. Now, Nancy Mace is also getting a bunch of threatening phone calls after today, and we're not going to listen to this because this dude is dropping F-bombs all over the place in very bad language, but here is what the voicemail said to Nancy Mace. You dumb C, B, you should eliminate yourself. You're a hypocritical, lying old Secca, and the real lunatic is whoever does your hair, Nancy. Going off. And makeup, mama. Nancy Mace, you're an effing disgusting human being. You're effing disgusting. You effing B. Hey, C, I hope you choke on a bag of D's. And thanks. Dumb B, it's me again. I'm going to keep leaving messages too, because guess what? You have listened to me. I hope you eliminate yourself. Admission. I'm just trying to harass you at this point, B. Admission. And I hope you choke on a thing is kind of like, I think you can interpret that as a threat, and maybe not a direct threat, but certainly threatening and intimidating. And many states have statutes on that. You can't call and harass and threaten and intimidate people, which is clearly what that is. So that's another felon lunatic who's calling in, threatening Congress people. Hopefully the officials are looking into that one. I'm sure they will. I mean, they can backtrace that stuff pretty well. But we also see they're not backing off. Okay, just to be clear about this. A lot of people like Mike Johnson and Katie Britt and a bunch of people came out and said, let's just calm down, tone the temperature down. Okay, well, they haven't done that, not even a little bit. In fact, The Nation wrote this disgusting article, which is getting a bunch of attention here just because of how awful it is. And they're not letting up. They're not trying to tone down the rhetoric at all. They're doubling down, and we knew they would. Charlie Kirk, they wrote, was an unrepentant racist, homophobe, transphobe, misogynist. Label, 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 label. First of all, their tactics haven't even improved at all. Nobody cares about these stupid labels, right? We're going to continue to speak out the truth. You can call us whatever you want. You can shoot our people in the neck, but Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, is confirming it's not going to stop her or anyone, okay? We're going to march on against your murderous lunacy, because we're not going to just bend a knee to you and just say, I guess we'll just change our opinion and love transgender people because you're shooting our people in the neck. But they're not backing down, okay? They're not backing off of this. This is an article that is basically supporting this. He's unrepentant, and there's no other way really to think about it. If you read the article, it's pretty horrific, but you can see here, his legacy deserves no mourning. And they're very being careful, his legacy deserves no mourning. Not Charlie Kirk deserves no mourning. Charlie Kirk's legacy deserves no mourning. So it's not as bad, but if you read the article, it's just a horrific piece. And the lady who wrote it is called Elizabeth Spears. So she writes a disgusting article. She says, it is rude because manners are more important, but there's no requirement. We have to whitewash this guy. And so she's just coming down on him, right? And you're like, all right, cool. Thanks for confirming it. There's not going to be, a mutual disarmament. We never thought there was, ever. We came out, the day of, and we're expressing how kind of idiotic it was for everybody to be spreading around all the platitudes everywhere after we just watched one of our own get shot in the neck. Now, here was another one. Even C-SPAN had to hang up on this dude because he was such a monster. And listen to them just calling in, right, publicly, explaining what they think. But C-SPAN had to nuke this dude.
Aubrey in Louisiana, Democratic caller. It's your turn, Aubrey.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I want to really just emphasize that they need to pull the curtain behind this young man and see what his extreme views was, what his perception of African-American women, the comments he had made, even about African-American men, about the family. This man was a David Duke in a suit. He had racist, extremist, unacceptable views towards black and others, other ethnicity. So I don't feel one bit, as Malcolm said, the rooster came home to crow. We have
no. We're going to go on to Randy in Kentucky, Republican.
Yeah, we're going to go to a Republican, not a psycho Democrat who's calling in saying things like that. So shout out to that lady for nuking that caller, but that's who they are. And it's not just us seeing this stuff. Okay, our friend Tim Pool over there was close with Charlie and has a big platform and has been on the receiving end of a lot of threats and bomb squads at his office and all sorts of stuff. Insane. For a long time. Tim Pool says this: I am pained by the posts of former liberal friends on Instagram justifying and celebrating Charlie's death, and it's everywhere. I didn't want to believe it. I thought they would be reasonable. I am shocked at my own naivete, from Tim Pool. Yeah, and I'm not sure that it really is, that naive. Like, they've done a very good job of hiding this from everybody. And I think we're even shocked here at the scope and the scale of their bloodlust coming out of their wherever. And it was, engineered to hide it from us. But now the truth is coming out. And it is shocking. I mean, it is really everywhere. So that's what Tim Pool's saying. And you're like, Rob, well, Tim Pool's kind of on the right. So, maybe he's just being dramatic about it. What about Piers Morgan? Piers Morgan, I wouldn't say is a rabid right-winger. Seen him debate Tucker Carlson, take the opposite side on basically everything. But Piers said this from the UK. I'm so shocked by the huge quantity of social media posts and clips of woke left fanatics gleefully celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. It's so brazen. It's so dehumanized. So disgusting. What the F is wrong with these people? Elon Musk is right. Wokeism is an insidious virus. Yeah, that's exactly right. So Piers is waking up and seeing what the hell's going on. And even Mark Halperin had a couple comments about this. He said, Mark Halperin, you know who he is. He has been around in the media forever, written books. Nobody would call him a rabid right-winger. He's not. And here is what he said. For the first day, I refused to believe that anyone was actually going on social media to celebrate Charlie's murder. Then I realized there was in fact some of it, but I assumed it was a very small amount. Now I see how naive I was. What is wrong with someone who would do that? Mark Halperin. They're everywhere, man. People don't want to believe it. Oh, come on. You're just exaggerating. It's everywhere. These are our neighbors, many of them, and they want conservatives dead because they think that they're fascist Nazis. They've been brainwashed to think that political assassinations are okay. Even Mark Halperin is feeling it. Now, Mark also was explaining this. He watches the media. Basically, he's a media, commentator, I would say. He comments like kind of how the media is handling things, what the narratives are, what the politics are. And yesterday when Erica Kirk was speaking, CNN and MSNBC didn't even cover it live. He said, it takes a lot to surprise me, but this is shocking. Even the BBC is taking it live because CNN and MSNBC are just pure propaganda and they know what they have done. They don't want to be involved in it at all. They caused the accident and they're like, "Bip, bip, bip, bip. Whoa, what's going on over here, because they don't want to be a part of any of it. So they're just turning away because they're cowards and they know that. So Mark Halperin was commenting about this, and this guy was also out in follow-up. We listened to him yesterday explain what he was thinking about, and here's just a little bit of this, right? So he is sitting here with BLM, gay flags all over the place, whatever these other flags are, and he's responding to his final talk with Charlie.
It does sometimes feel like I am one of the few, definitely not the only, but certainly maybe a minority of the left that really cares still about her family or America. I don't know.
Yeah, he was talking to Charlie and he says, I'm basically the only one or a small minority on the left who thinks that this is wrong with all the flags in the background. Like, what have you done, man? There's still time to wake up and exit that disgusting death cult. Greg Abbott, what's up? The Texas Education Agency is now looking into their teachers who have posted or shared reprehensible or inappropriate conduct on their platforms because it's a violation of the policy. TEA is made aware of some public school educators who have posted or shared reprehensible conduct on the internet after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. These educators and these comments do not reflect the vast majority of Texan teachers. And so in response to these posts, Abbott says, this person, Mike Morath, Commission of Education, says, I'm referring all documentation of educators that have proliferated such vile content to the Investigations Division. Such posts would constitute a violation of the educator's code of ethics, like probably in there, like shouldn't endorse murder, probably. I don't know if it's officially in there, but I'm sure there's a blanket policy that covers that. Such posts could constitute a violation of their code of ethics, and each instance will be thoroughly reviewed. They'll get plenty of process before they're nuked. While the exercise of free speech is a fundamental right we are all blessed to share, it does not give carte blanche authority to celebrate and sow violence against those that share differing beliefs and perspectives. Kirk was a father and a husband, and tragically, his children no longer have their father, and his wife no longer has her spouse. As a father and husband myself, and as someone devoted to the education of children, it's heartbreaking. If you were made aware of additional instances of this, please report it immediately. Shout out to Mike. I commend the swift action taken by the leadership of the districts to employ these educators. Respect is a core tenet of what we must teach, and we can ensure these values are reflected throughout Texan schools. So Mike Morath over from Texas. Even Lindsey Graham's getting in on this one. Free speech doesn't prevent you from being fired if you're stupid enough to have poor judgment, as they are. The despicable and inappropriate classless statements about a tragic event should not diminish great universities like Clemson. And I am so over the universities, to be honest with you. I went to a university, whatever that is, and they are just little hellscapes. However, in my opinion, those who made these despicable, inappropriate, and classless statements should be good candidates for termination by the public university. How can you be a teacher at a university and endorse assassinations at universities and still expect a job and call yourself probably like a public servant or something? They're psychotic, and they cannot be allowed to teach students and be expecting to foster a safe, open, free environment, because they're not at all. Another one for Mark. An email I just got from a very smart person who is now smarter, unfortunately, because of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Another one from Mark. Man, he's waking up hard today. I used to think of Trump derangement syndrome, someone emailed him, as just people losing their minds about him specifically and knee-jerk hating everything he said or did or enacted. But I now realize that Trump derangement syndrome has made people lose their ability to tell the difference between right and wrong. Yeah. And I can understand, being politically activated and politically enraged. We get here politically enraged all the time. It's okay to have instinctive reactions when you watch someone's neck explode on the screen because it's like you're there. And if you don't have, a reaction to that, then what kind of a person are you? But there's a line to be crossed. You can have feelings, but if you turn those feelings into political violence rather than expressing using your words, then you've now crossed the threshold between somebody who's actively engaged in having a civic conversation now into a murderer. And if you're now aligning with those murderers, you are causing very serious concerns to those people around you. And that's what we're all realizing. So while many people have emotions, and you might even, say, hey, well, if you're on the left, well, maybe you do think that they're killing trans or whatever. You might have those opinions. You might feel that strongly. It doesn't give you the right to murder anybody. And that's where they're crossing this threshold.